Hi, my name is Robert García, and I'm going to show you guys my technique of professional hand wrapping. You know, the main idea with a boxer is to protect his hands. So what we do during training camp is we do one layer of tape, not on the skin because we don't want the tape to stick to the skin, but we use one layer of this wrap so we could so it doesn't stick to the skin. And it's pre-wrap. Then, like I said, we do one layer, and I always try to make sure my tape and my gauze always goes to the outside. It's just the way I got used to, and the way I teach all my assistants to do it going on the outside. And the reason I do that is because when I get to the thumb area, I want the thumb to be solid and protected when they make a fist. So this pulls down the thumb a little and goes around so they can make a fist, and it's protected. You know, the thumb is protected. The other way around, if I do it this way, I would have to pull it back, and that's pulling the thumb back, and that might cause a little bit of injuries. You know, we also do a lot of tape in the knuckles, which is not permitted in fights. Tape is not allowed in the knuckles, but we do it for training, for protection. That's the reason we do it in training. But remember, this is not allowed in professional fights.
So there are differences.
Yes, there is differences. We also use different paddings for training. For training, what's that gel one? For training, we use a gel pad. It's totally gel, and it gives it a little bit softer feeling for protection only. But for the fights, we obviously use regular gauze, and that's what I'm gonna do right now with regular gauze. That's why, you know, in training, everybody uses 14 or 16 ounce gloves, and it's only to protect the fighters from hurting themselves. But yeah, after one layer of gauze in the hands, I go to the gauze. You know, most of the commissions in the United States do not allow tape under the hand wrap. They don't allow us to layer the tape. But like I said, for training, we do, just to protect my fighters' hands. So then we go to the gauze again. Everything towards the outside. See, the wrist is also a big part of the hands that needs to be protected. So I do quite a few turns in the wrist. They are not very tight, but I also cannot put, you know, as you see, they are, you know, they're right on the skin, so they're not loose. And the more solid the hand wraps come out, well, the more you protect your fighter, you know. And again, the thumb, I do 3 or 4 turns in between the thumbs just for protection. So when he makes a fist, the thumb is very protected. Okay, once I go to the knuckles, I do 2 or 3 in the knuckles before I put the padding. Okay, the padding is going to be about this thick right here. I like to see. I've seen many other trainers that fold it once and comes out really good, but I like to fold it twice, and I'll show you guys the difference. When we fold it twice, the padding just becomes a little bit harder, and to protect the fighter's hands, like I said, the tighter the hand is, the more protection he's gonna get. So at the end of the wrapping, you know, you guys will see how solid the knuckle pads become, and it's just with the hand wraps. After this, obviously, we have to go in between the fingers, and when you go in between the fingers, you want to make sure that the padding is almost all the way up to the middle bones. That way, the padding doesn't go over the knuckles. And I'll show you guys right now as you see, make a fist. The knuckles are over here. So all this is padding, and it's all protecting the fighter's knuckles. All this last few turns that I'm gonna do is just to tighten it up a little more. This is just tightening up the gauze a little more. And then at the end, obviously with the tape, it even tightens it a little bit more. I always tell my fighters that it's a possibility that by the time I'm finished wrapping their hands, the first few minutes, their hands might feel a little numb, but it's normal. It's normal. Once they start shadow boxing and stretching out, the numbness will go away. So I always tell my fighters, don't feel that it might be too tight, because if you feel it that it's getting a little numb. Getting numb is pretty normal when you're wrapping your hands pretty tight. And then again, I go with my last layer of tape over the gauze, just to, like I said, just to make it a little bit solid and to protect the hands even better. Now I do the same thing with the tape. All this I'm doing with tape is allowed in professional fighting. Every commission allows tape over the gauze. And normally what they do is they allow one roll of tape in each hand. So, most of the time I don't really use the whole roll of tape, but it is allowed. See, what the rule in every commission is about one finger behind the knuckles. So if I do this, make a fist. If I do this is where the tape goes. This is where I start the tape. It's one finger behind the knuckles. So all this right here is legal in any commission throughout the world. See, this crosses I do right here, not every trainer does them, and I'm not saying this is the only way to do it, but I got used to doing it because since I was a former fighter, I remember my dad wrapping my hands, and when I told him to start crossing it like this, it just made my bones feel better, feel more protected. This part of the hand is very, very. We could hurt our hands very easily, and this is the parts that get injured the most. So when I decided to start crossing tape from one side to the other, it just started making my hands feel so much better during competitions and fights. So I do about 2 or 3 for each side. And then at the end, I do one more layer from here to the top. And right here, my last turn I'm gonna do is in the thumb. Like I said, the thumb is one of the fingers that we gotta protect very much. So this is the last one, and I pull it down as much as I can. So like I said, so when he makes his fist, his thumb is solid right there. See right there? He could actually open it, but it feels a little, having it like that, it feels a little uncomfortable. Once he makes a fist, that's solid right there. That's where there's no punch or anything that's gonna injure it, because it's pretty protected right here. So this is some fighters like to cut this up a little just to get the circulation right here in their hand. There's other fighters that tell me they don't need it, so I don't do it. But most of them, we do this just to get that blood circulating a little bit better. But there it is right there. That's the way I wrap hands. The hands are protected. Open up. They can make a good fist. Their knuckles are protected. Make a fist. So their knuckles is way over there. So all this is protected and ready to go. And once I do that, then I go to the second hand and same thing over and over. You know, we've done this many times, and I've been fortunate enough that very few fighters ever get injured when it comes to after the fight. Very few times.
Why don't you present him?
This is one of my fighters, undefeated fighter, 12-0 with 11 knockouts, Lindolfo Delgado. He will be fighting September 10 on the Valdez Consacao undercard on ESPN, fighting for top rank. Mexican Olympian too. You know what?
Is there a big difference?
There's all kinds of tapes, and every tape has the same aspect of, you know, obviously wrapping hands. But I got used to the war tape for a few years already, because it did start and continues to be one of the most solid tapes. When you a lot of times when you're pulling on the hand wrap, the tape rips, and with war tape it has never happened to me. It's a very solid tape. When it's very strong, and it also has a lot of as you look at this,
Yeah.
it has a lot of sticking into it, and that's one thing that helps out a lot. At the end of if you see a lot of workouts after training, fighters finish with the training, and all this is peeling off because they have the wrong tape. This that never happens with war tape. It's thick, as I told. Look, every little thing, it's really hard to pull my finger off, because it has a lot of power into the tape, and it's also very strong. I could pull it hard, so the tape could be stuck very hard, and it doesn't rip. So those are the advantages of this tape that I use.
And for the outside of the glove, they've been using a different tape now, right? Because sometimes the normal tape gets loose.
There's this it's actually like kind of construction tape that they use. The commissions and California does it. I believe Texas also does it. Nevada, we used to put our own tape. In Nevada, we used to do our own tape over the glove. But mostly every other commission, they use it's like
duct tape.
Yeah, there you go, duct tape. Yeah, just, you know, different color. Obviously, red for red corner and blue for blue corner. But yeah, that's one tape that we don't use on the hands, but in the glove, I don't think I've ever seen a fight being stopped and having to replace the tape, because it just once you put it on, it's hard to take it out. You actually have to cut it with scissors.
Yeah.
So there's the second hand, as good as the first one. You know, one thing that I've always learned, and I learned it from my dad, is, you know, we don't count. I don't have to count anymore. But if you see the same amount of tape left over from both, one from each hand, so I don't count them anymore. But it's kind of like the same turns. Every step is the same from one to the other, because I used the same amount of tape with both hands.